As far as books go that would mimic the same kind of style, I think almost all books that what I would consider an open ending are books that still give you that same kind of thought after you finish the book. Be it Dorian Gray's Death, one of the books we read in the class. Why did stabbing that painting kill himself? And with that magic realism element, you're never really sure, but you can draw your own conclusions. I think good books, what is best about them is what is not told, rather than what is told. Because there's a specific art to giving the reader enough information to make the conclusions for themselves, instead of kind of telling them what happened and why it happened. Sometimes leaving those out is more important than putting them in. Did you want to talk about the difference between books and film, too, or not? Or what makes it good?
Yeah. Could you perhaps expand on the differences between film and literature?
One thing I definitely find interesting is a lot of times students say, or just adults in general say, oh, that movie was nothing like the book, I hated it, or oh, I love that movie so much more than the book. And I think what you're really finding there, and it's an interesting time we live in, is when you find that a movie is better than the book you read. I think what you're really saying... I'll try that statement again.
Yeah.
I think when you find that people say that a movie is better than a book, what you're really finding them say is, my imagination is not as strong as that director's vision. And so whenever you read a book and you're like, oh, imagine a blue castle. And in my head, a blue castle is this magnificent, amazing place that I've created in my mind. And then I see in the movie theater that the director has made a blue cardboard house. I'm going to be disappointed. But on the flip side, when that director exceeds what your imagination reads, that's when you start saying that movie was better than the book. Now, if you're the type of person that always says the movie's always better than the book, that probably says a reflection about your own mind, more so than the director's ability to create that movie. One notable exception I'll tell you right now for me was Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series. The direction on that film went way beyond whatever I got out of Tolkien's books. I couldn't even imagine what some of those scenes would actually look like that we're able to create it, granted with special effects, etc. But I thought that far exceeded my imagination. Whereas many times when I see the movie, I'm like, I like the version in my head better. Or when they say that beautiful heroine or that magnificent castle, what I had in my head I like better than what the director showed me. Because movies in a certain manner always tell, whereas books let you think. And so a director is overcome with that exact issue, is he has to put his vision of a book into a visual that everyone else will see. I don't know if that was related to anything.
Yeah, it was great. I have just one more question.
Great.
In your opinion, is there any specific genres in movies, i.e. like war films or romantic comedies or just dramas in general, that have this feeling of catharsis?
I think catharsis depends on the audience more than the movie itself. Like for me, romantic comedies, sometimes I want that emotional upbringing. I know the exact formula every romantic comedy will follow. You know, character A is introduced, character B is introduced. Oh no, character A and character B can't mix. Oh, but they do, but then they spread apart and then bam, they're together at the end. And so even though I know what's coming, that can still create an emotional response for me. But in general, my favorite types of movies are those ones that don't follow some predictable plot line. One that I don't know what's coming next, because that's what toys with my emotion. I have that angst, I have that worry about that character, because I don't know they're going to end up happily ever after. So, in short, if I see Hugh Grant, I already know where the movie's going to end.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem.